everybody, today I wanted to do something a little bit different and something that I love hearing about, and that is ways that people like to de-stress or just kind of switch off and have a little bit of me time. You all know how much I love to encourage people to have downtime, me time, and to recharge their batteries, which is why I wanted to do a video on the ways that I choose to do that. So the different ways I choose to de-stress, or if I'm just having a particularly busy month, or I just find that life is getting a little bit too much, which I'm sure we all do from time to time. And I feel like a lot of the time people don't give themselves the quality of recharging that they probably need. I think it's particularly important to learn how to manage ways in which to make yourself feel better if you're feeling particularly stressed, and also just knowing those go-to things that you know will instantly chill you out, make you see a little bit clearer, and as I said, recharge. Everyone needs to do it. So I have broken this down into 3 different categories. The first one being your environment. I don't know if any of you have ever heard the saying, tidy room, tidy mind. I never used to believe this until I became a homeowner, and now if things aren't in a certain place, I feel that it clutters up my mind in a different way. If things are a lot more organized in my home and in my environment, I feel like it eases everything else. And although I'm not saying to spend all your free time tidying and sorting your house, because let's be honest, for a lot of people that would just add to the stress, although I do find that cleaning and tidying is quite a good stress buster sometimes. You've got to be in the right mood for it though. What I am saying though is that if things have a little bit more order around you, it makes you feel like your life is in a little bit more order. It doesn't always need to be that everything is where it should be, that your house is spotless and that everything is clean. It could simply be something like new bedding. Whenever I buy new bedding, I feel so happy. Getting into bed with new sheets is one of the best feelings. And even if that sometimes means treating yourself one week, taking all your bedding to a laundrette and getting them to wash and iron it, just because, I mean, for me, that's one of my least favorite chores. And it doesn't actually cost that much to get it done, but having fresh, clean sheets is such a lovely feeling. And having new bedding, I like to change my bedding up quite a lot. I currently have some autumnal bedding, but also I like buying cushions and just like cute little home finishes. And that makes me feel happy and relaxed and just very content with my living situation. Candles. Candles are probably one of my most kind of comforting home essentials. If I'm having a particularly stressful day or a particularly stressful week, there is absolutely no doubt about it that when it starts getting dark, there will be candles lit from room to room. They just add ambience, calm, and coziness. And you can't go wrong with a bit of coziness. House plants. This might seem like an obvious one, or maybe a not so obvious one, and I feel like you don't have to have green fingers. Is that what they're called? Green fingers when you're a gardener? Green thumbs? Something. You don't need to have green limbs in order to look after a house plant. You may think there's no way you can keep a plant alive, but there are things like succulents and cactuses that are a lot more easy to look after, and I think it's just nice having plants in your house. I know so many people who swear by plants in their living space, and it's green and it's pretty and it's alive, and I love having plants in my house. Granted, not all of them stay alive, but they look really pretty whilst they're there. Another one which sits quite comfortably alongside candles for me is fairy lights. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to work out that fairy lights are one of the things that I just can't live without in my environment. I absolutely love them, whether it's the middle of the day, whether it's the evening, whether it's summer, whether it's winter. I love fairy lights. The best thing I can do is light a candle and whack the fairy lights on and forget that main lights ever existed. They just have a nice glow, they're very warming, and they're very pretty, and I think somewhere underlying all of that is the fact that it reminds me of Christmas, and Christmas is the best time in the world, so I mean, that might have something to do with it. The next category is you time and switching off. I feel like this is the category that most people probably find quite difficult. It's so much harder these days to switch off when everything is so easily accessed through your phone, which is constantly in your hand. And especially for me, because of everything I do and everything surrounding social media and emails, and everything is very digital, switching off can be a little bit more tricky. And I think with this, the best thing to do is find things that you're passionate about that don't involve being on your phone or on a laptop or any other electrical device that has Wi-Fi. Because of my job and YouTube and everything else, for a while, whenever someone said to me, hey, so what do you like to do when you're not working? Or what are your hobbies? And obviously this is my hobby. So for a while I was like, oh, I mean, what do I like doing that's not making videos, editing videos, designing products, and writing books? Like, I don't really know. What is my non-work hobby? So for me, if I'm having a particularly stressful day or I'm feeling a little bit anxious and I just need a bit of me time and I just need to switch off, these are the things I will most likely do. Going for a walk, I think this is the most important thing. It's gentle exercise, and exercise is always good if you're feeling stressed or anxious. It's just such a lovely thing to do. Where I live, I've got the countryside and I've got the sea, so walking on the beach is one of my favorite things to do, whether it's windy, wet, sunny, cold, it doesn't bother me at all. I wrap up warm and I go for a little walk, take Nala with me sometimes. I think being by the sea is such a huge de-stressor. I love the sound of the waves. I love the sound of seagulls when I'm not living next to the sea, because then the sound of seagulls grates on me and becomes one of the reasons I get stressed. I just honestly think when you're standing on a beach looking at the sea, nothing else matters. Like, you just can't be stressed. You just can't. In fact, sometimes when I can't get down to the beach, I'll just listen to the sound of waves on my phone. And if you don't have a beach near you, then find a lovely countryside walk, or in fact, walk somewhere you've never walked before. I think that's quite nice, like discovering new places, just generally clearing your head. There's a reason they say, go clear your head, go for a walk. I know we're switching off and we're technically not using our phone, but some apps don't require Wi-Fi and they're just really great for meditation, calming, and generally just relaxation. I like to lie down on my bed and listen to the calming apps, or sometimes I'll listen to them at night, or if I'm on a train, or even if I just want to take 5 minutes out of a very busy day and put my headphones in and just kind of gather my thoughts a little bit. I find this so helpful, and the more you do it, I feel like the more impact it has, and I recommend it to everybody I know. A couple of the apps that I would recommend are Relax Melodies, which is great to listen to if you have trouble sleeping or if you want to listen to the sound of waves. It's essentially a soundboard of different very calming noises. Headspace is brilliant. There is everything on Headspace. It's a great place for meditation and just clearing your mind, especially if you have quite a busy day and you want to pack in like 5 minutes here and 10 minutes there. And the other one I have is just called Relax, and this is a 28 to 30 minute chat, which when I'm feeling particularly uptight, nervous, stressed, I'll listen to this same half an hour. I probably know it word for word now. I could probably recite it to you, which I won't do, don't worry. But I listen to that a lot. It's kind of like a positive affirmation slash de-stressing pep talk, I would say. Again, this is one that I like to recommend to pretty much everybody because I just find it very, very calming. Making lists. I know not everybody is organized, and that's fine. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm a very organized person. However, if my mind is feeling quite frazzled or I'm having a stressful week, I find that writing down everything I feel as though I'm trying to store in my mind makes me feel like someone's taken a load off my shoulders. So I like to write lists to feel as though I'm a bit more organized. Even if I don't follow the lists or tick anything off, writing it down always feels so much better. I like to do this before going to bed. I just find lists a really good way of decluttering your mind. So if it's been a stressful week, granted there will be multiple lists around my house. This might be a really obvious one, but reading is a really great way of switching off. You can get lost in books and stories, and I have always been a massive bookworm. I absolutely love it. I get so excited at the prospect of having a new book to read, or when I'm getting to a really good bit, but then I think, no, I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. I just feel as though I can really fully escape when I'm reading, and I think that that's such a nice feeling to have if you feel as though you're having a particularly stressful time. The last category is good night's sleep. Now this might seem fairly obvious, but if you are stressed, you probably aren't getting the best sleep that you could, or alternatively, if you're not getting a lot of sleep, it could make you feel stressed. The two of those things come hand in hand. Sleep is one of the biggest things that you need in order to feel recharged. And these are a couple of the things that I like to do to make sure I get the best night's sleep. A bath. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but having a bath is so relaxing. I mean, as long as you don't go overboard on the hot tap and you end up like sweating and wishing you could get out, a bath can be so relaxing. I have quite a few different products that I really like using. There are so many amazing products which help you to get the best night's sleep you can, and I feel like I've tried quite a few. I also like to light some candles, and actually more recently I've found spa music on my phone on YouTube, and some of these spa music videos are like 6 hours long. I'm not recommending you stay in the bath for 6 hours because you will look like a raisin, but they're really great to listen to whilst you are in the bath, because then you actually feel like you're relaxing. It's like you've managed to recreate your own little at-home spa, and it's really, really lovely. Brands like Aromatherapy Associates also have some really lovely relaxing oils too. The next thing is a calming tea. Now there are many different types of tea that you can have before bed which are supposed to help you in having the best night's sleep. I've got chamomile teas, peppermint teas. In fact, I think peppermint tea is probably the one I reach for the most, but chamomile is obviously supposed to help you sleep and is very relaxing. Also, I think it's just kind of like the regime of making yourself a tea and sitting down and like enjoying the tea, because then you are relaxed because you're not rushing around. So I think any sort of tea or nighttime drink in that sense is a really nice way to wind down. I also have sleep sprays. I have a few of these, and I also have like little rollerballs that you can pop on, what are these called? Like pressure points? I mean, I love these. I don't know if they scientifically work, but mentally I feel as though when I've got the sleep spray on my pillow, I do sleep better. So sleep sprays I feel like are worth giving a try too. I've always been told that 20 minutes before wanting to go to sleep, you should have no technology, no TV, and nothing that is gonna stimulate your mind. You want to be winding down in those last 20 minutes before going to sleep. So having a little bit of a routine, maybe laying out your clothes for the next day, putting on your pajamas, maybe drinking your tea, or reading a little bit of a book, as long as it's not like super stimulating for the mind, are all really great ways to wind down. If you've had like the most hectic day ever and you whip your clothes off, throw on your pajamas, brush your teeth in 3 seconds and try and jump into bed with your phone in your hand, going through Twitter, going on Instagram, you're never gonna have a good night's sleep. Having that kind of 20 minutes to half an hour where you completely wind down, no technology, turn your phone off, or, I mean, no one really turns their phone off anymore. Put your phone on silent, move it away from you, put it, I don't know, across the other side of the room on charge. You don't need it past a certain point. I feel like sometimes if I'm having a really bad night's sleep and my phone is next to me, I do roll over, pick up my phone, think, oh, I'll just check the time. Now I'll just check Twitter. Now I'll just see who's updated Instagram. And then before I know it, 2 hours have gone past and now I'm really awake. You need to give yourself the best sleep that you possibly can, and you've got to be strict with yourself and move your phone away. I honestly feel like it's one of the best things you could do. Even though it feels hard, it also makes getting up in the morning and checking your phone a little bit more exciting, because it's not like you're just constantly scrolling through it in bed. So try it. Let me know how you get on. Put your phone away from you at night and I can assure you, you'll probably sleep better. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video and that you are able to take away a few tips or tricks or ways that you can de-stress that you didn't know of before. Let me know if you try out any of them, and also let me know what you do to de-stress in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to. I hope you had a lovely day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!